Walt Disney once said, "It's kind of fun to do the impossible." His vision of a theme park that would delight children and adults alike has enthralled millions. What is it about Disneyland that makes it the happiest place on earth? What makes it so special to so many adoring fans? Disneyland is an extraordinary place that millions of people visit each year. Some go to Disneyland only once for the trip of a lifetime, while others, myself included, visit the park many, many times. I will share some history about Disneyland, some interesting facts about Disneyland, and why the appeal of Disneyland endures. First, let's explore the history of Disneyland. Walt had the idea of a unique amusement park in the back of his mind for at least 20 years. He used to take his two children to zoos and parks and would think about what someone could do that would be more imaginative. So, how was he able to create such a fantastic world? He needed money to make his vision come to life. Walt Disney said, "I could never convince the financiers that Disneyland was feasible because dreams offer too little collateral." Disney borrowed on the insurance that he had paid on for 30 years and sold his house in Palm Springs in order to get Disneyland to a point where he could show people what it would be. Disney agreed to produce a weekly show for ABC, which was a struggling network, in exchange for partial financing of his amusement park. Additional financing came from loans and an investment from the Santa Fe Railroad. Now that the financing was in place, Walt hired architects, engineers, and designers to get to work on his vision. Walt's attention to detail was evident from the beginning, from making sure that sidewalks were curved rather than squared off because people don't turn at right angles, to insisting upon models and statues being made to ensure how things would really look. From groundbreaking to opening day, Disneyland was built in just 365 days. Money would have completely run out working past the deadline of a year. Crews worked double shifts in order to get it finished. According to Cameron English on his website Disney Dreamer, last updated in 2007, it cost $17 million to complete, equivalent to more than $138 million in today's dollars. Walt Disney was nervous about everything being ready on time, so he checked each ride and exhibit and even helped out when needed. It was time for opening day on July 17, 1955, and there were several issues. The newly poured asphalt was still soft, and people's shoes sank into it. Only a handful of restrooms were operational. Rides broke down under the stress of opening day crowds. There were 22 live cameras set up to record opening day. The show went on the air on time. However, it showed the chaos of opening day with miscued cameras and dead mics. Despite the shaky start, enthusiasm for Disneyland continued to grow year by year. Next, let me share some facts and secrets about Disneyland. When Disneyland opened, there were just 18 major attractions. Today, there are more than 60. With few exceptions, Disneyland has been open, rain or shine, since July 17, 1955. According to the 2012 edition of the Disneyland Encyclopedia by Chris Stroder, over 500 million people have visited Disneyland since 1955. More than 5,000 gallons of paint are used each year to keep Disneyland looking fresh and like new. The streets of Disneyland are washed and steam cleaned after closing each day. During a 12-month period, the park receives more than 2 million calls. Mickey Mouse is the most frequently called person. The landscaping at the Disneyland Resort includes more than 800 species of plants from over 40 nations, including roughly 17,000 trees and 100,000 shrubs, which makes it one of the most extensive and diverse botanical collections in the western United States, according to Larry West in an article for MSN. Each year, about 1 million colorful annuals are planted at Disneyland. The Mickey Mouse flower portrait at the Disneyland main entrance is replanted 6 times a year. When Disneyland was under construction, Walt Disney had a private apartment above the fire station on Main Street, USA, so he could supervise. He and his family continued to use it frequently even after the park was built. Everyone knew when Walt was there because he left a light burning in the window. Since Walt Disney's death in 1966, the light has been left on to honor his memory and to show that his spirit will always be a part of Disneyland. Lastly, why is it that the magic of Disneyland endures? Walt Disney's vision of an amusement park has enthralled hundreds of millions of visitors. His spirit really does live on. When you step into Disneyland, you are transported into a timeless, trouble-free realm. You can escape into a magical world and leave the stress and weight of the real world for a little while. Walt Disney created a world where dreams can come true. The prince and princess live happily ever after. Good battles evil in the depths of space. Cowboys keep order in the Wild West. Pirates find the treasure where X marks the spot. Disneyland offers all of these things and more. Young or old, there is truly something for everyone. In conclusion, Disneyland is a special place that lives up to the title, Happiest Place on Earth. I've talked about the history of Disneyland, some interesting facts about the park, and why it continues to hold its appeal. I've shared one of my very favorite places. It's a place that I've shared with my son, and he has the same enthusiasm and excitement that I have when we go. I hope that I've sparked your interest and struck a chord with the kid inside you. I think that everyone should experience that wondrous occurrence at least once.